Crafty peeps, welcome to our second Craftology box tutorial. Today we're going to make another super fast itty bitty mini. So last time I made one that was a 6 by 6 and the cover was, I believe, 6.5 by 6.5. So now we're going to do a even smaller one, like a little mini brag book. Our first Craftology box tutorial for March was our 5 by 7 boho sheet card, which was really super cute. So let's get started. So first of all, you're going to need 5 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So on the 8.5, on the 11-inch side, you're going to score it at 8.5, and that will make a perfect square. So then on each of the papers, this will all be the same to make this, and it will come out looking like this. So it's just like my 6 by 6 or 6.5 by 6.5, but it's just a smaller version. So I thought y'all would like the measurements for that, and also instead of using 12 by 12 paper, you can use your 8.5 by 11. And so I think you could get this one probably done even faster than the last one. So after you cut it down to 8.5 by 8.5, you're going to score it at 4 1/4. Excuse me. I don't know why that doesn't look right. There we go. Sorry. Yes, 4 1/4 on one side, and then you're going to rotate it one time. And you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So, but only down to that first score line that you just made. Then you're going to flip it, and that's so it comes out right. You're just going to make a tiny little score mark so you know where to cut from here to here. Okay, so I'm going to get out my cutter. And this is just to avoid cutting on that line and having that, you know, I don't know what you want to call it. It's just always in the way. So you're just going to line it up and then cut it down to that first score line. Okay. I'm going to do it a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So then on your fold line, you're going to fold it one time just to make sure that it's even. And mine is pretty darn even. Let me get out my mat so it's easier for me to burnish my score lines. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure that it's lined up properly and burnish that in. Then I'm going to open it back up, and then on this other fold line or score line, I'm going to fold it this way. Okay. And again, make sure it's lined up right. Burnish it in. And then you'll have your closed center at the top, and you'll have your open center at the bottom. So then you have that. Then you're going to take some cardstock, and you might need another 8.5 by 11 sheet. I have a leftover scrap, so I'm going to use that one. So I'm going to score it at 4 inches, okay, and at 2 inches, and then at 4 1/4. So this little leftover piece I can save as a belly band or something. So I'll just cut that off. And toss that to the side. And then I can go ahead and cut it right down on that other score line. Now, I should be able to fold it in half, and this is what I'm going to use as my pocket. But this is what I want you to do. I went ahead and I lined it back up. And if I've told y'all before, I hope that I can show you this. Right here, if you go to that first little line there, that's a 1/16 of an inch. I want you to cut off a 1/16 of an inch so that when you're folding your pages over, that it fits in there nicely, okay, without kind of bunching up or folding over. And then you would essentially glue it here and here. But I already have a piece that I made already. And what I did with mine is I used the Spellbinders. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I used one of my Spellbinders edge dies. Okay. And I just lined it up and centered it. Okay. And so I did one on both sides, and then I ran it through my paper cutter. Okay. So now at this point, you're going to need, okay, 24 pieces cut at 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 of your decorative cardstock. That will be for this flap and this flap. Here, so that you can use some of your scraps, you'll have this a little bit shorter, but they're not going to see that because your pocket is going to cover that up. Now, if not, then you'll definitely need more than 24 of these, okay? So that's just up to you. That's just what I did. I'm going to go ahead and ink my edges. I'm just using some light pink Hobby Lobby brand ink. And I'm just going to ink my edge. And then I'm going to get out my trusty art glitter glue. And then I'm going to just glue it on there. Now I'm just going to open this up a little bit and make sure that your open side is down at the bottom. That way you're not putting these upside down, okay? And then just wipe off any excess glue that you got going on. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you right here for my pocket page. Actually, I didn't need to even ink the bottom piece. I don't know why I did that, the bottom edge, because they're not going to see that anyway. And then I'm just going to line it up and center it. And again, burnish it in. Make sure it's all nice, flat, and smooth. You can wipe off any glue that's coming out. So I've got a couple extra pieces left over that I want to use as my inside. So I think I will go ahead and cut this one at 4 1/4. I'm sorry, not 4 1/4, 4 1/8, my bad. Okay, so 4 1/8. I'm going to go ahead and ink my edge again. And I'll do it on the inside of this one. Just lining it up. Actually, I think I'm going to go with this edge down so I can still see the flower design. And line it up. And then I'm going to cut another one. At 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. And another couple more that were 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, but maybe not. Okay, let me go ahead and ink this edge. Oops, sorry, I got it upside down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down here. And then I'm just going to need 2 more. Actually, sorry, 4 1/8. I always try to cut or line it up on the side that is not already cut, just so that I have a more even cut. But sometimes I don't have that choice. But most of the time I do. Okay, so now I have my last 2 that I'm going to need. Let me ink those up real quick. Oops, I got a little bit of an edge here that I don't want. So let me go ahead and cut that off. Sorry about that. Sometimes I accidentally leave those bumpy edges on there and I don't like it. So I go ahead and get rid of them. Oops, let me do it this way. And center it. And my last one. It has a little bit of a rough edge. I like to get that off there. So that looks pretty good to me. And I dropped my glue. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm going to glue this last one on here. And then now I can go ahead and glue on my pockets. Okay. So each pocket should be 2 inches. So all I do is I just line it up right to this edge over here on the corner. I know it's hard to tell with black, but and actually I'm going to center it just a little bit. I'm going to move it over just a tiny bit more. Hold on. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Just so that I'm covering up my edge. And then I put a little strip of glue here along the bottom and here. I'm going to burnish it in so that it stays. I've got paper falling everywhere today. And I'm not sure why it's not gluing down today. What's up with that? Let's try that again. There we go. And then I'm going to flip over to the other side and do the same thing. Come on, glue, work with me. I think I need to fill my bottle back up. And just hold it down for a second. Wipe off any excess glue. Burnish it in so it stays in place. This glue dries pretty fast, but enough for you to be able to still work with it. And then I just make sure that I didn't accidentally glue down my middle piece here. Or you can put your small little mats. And so now you should have 5 of these, okay? And on some of them, I've already got the tags on the inside. So this is actually what I'm going to connect to my binding, okay? Make sure they're all in the right direction. There we go. And then I just kind of line up which patterns I think look good together. And yeah, these all look pretty darn good. Okay. So now I have 5 of these, and now I can start making my bindings. So I know that this is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to take a 8 1/2 by 11 piece of paper. Okay. And I'm going to score it at 4 1/8 for my hinge. Okay. Now, depending on how much you're going to embellish in here, is going to decide on your hinge. Okay. So I usually start off with 1 inch to hang over. Okay, that I would fold back over. Then I go a 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 2 1/2. So now this equals my first hinge. And I'm going to mark this so I know. Then I'm going to score at 3. So that leaves me a 1/2 inch gap space. This will be my second hinge. So 3 1/2, 4. So it's every 1/2 inch. So we know that's 2. 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2. We know that that is 3. 6, 6 1/2, 7. That's 4. 1/2, 7 1/2, 8, and 8 1/2. And there is my 5th hinge. And then I always leave another 1/2 inch space in between the front cover and the back cover, okay? So then after that, you would have your fold over at this point, okay? So now I can go ahead and start doing my folding. So I know that here and the 2, excuse me, I got glue on my fingers. Ah, that drives me crazy. Okay, apologize for that. 3, 4, and 5. That makes my 5 hinges, okay? Now I'm going to get out my score tape, or you can use glue. Let me get out my mat again because I don't want to make a huge mess. I'm going to flip this over. So I already know where my fold lines are. And then I just start applying my tape on the fold line. Okay. And then I skip 1, 2. And then I skip 1, 2. And so on and so forth. I skip 2 until I get to my last hinge. Okay. One, 2. Now I don't like to have any tape hanging over, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. And then in a second here, I'm going to burnish it in with my bone folder. And as we all know, for me, I like to use glue also, just to make sure. Oops, I forgot to put the lid back on my thing here. Oops, wrong way. Okay, as you can see, I didn't push that down really neatly, and so that causes problems, but that's why I use the glue. Where's my little thing? There we go. So I'm going to fold on my first hinge. I line it up and burnish it in. And then where that score line is, I'm going to fold it back. I'm going to do the same thing on the second one. I'm going to fold on that score line. And then I'm going to fold it back. So now we're creating our hinges. Make sure it's lined up. Clean up any glue. Apparently I did a little too much glue on that one. So I'm going to just burnish that in and fold back. Make sure it's lined up and burnish it in and wipe up any excess glue. Fold back, and now I'm at my last hinge. Line it up again, burnish it in, and fold back. Okay, and then I just burnish it in really good. Okay, you can see I've got dry glue on my thing. I need to clean that up. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that my hinges move nice and freely. So I'm going to push them back the opposite way. And then burnish it in. And I'll just keep doing that a couple of times just to get those hinges ready for use. Hold on. Again and again. I just keep doing that a couple of times. Maybe about 3 or 4. Just to make sure they're nice and pliable and working. Okay. Then we have this piece that's going to fold over. And then you have this piece where that last score line is, and fold that over. And then here's your actual hinge. Go ahead and burnish those in so they're straight. Okay. And then now at this point you can either use score tape and or glue, or both like I do. Cut off any hangovers, because all that does, if you leave those on there, it creates extra bulk and sticky pieces coming out that you don't want. And you're going to remove your tape. Oops. And if anything's hanging over, just fold the tape back onto the paper, okay? And then where I had that first score line, I'm going to go ahead and fold that over, okay? And then on the second one, I'm going to do the same exact thing. But first I need to burnish this in, okay? Let me do that real quick. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure to get a lot of glue where I don't have any tape, because I definitely want this to be nice and flat, okay? And then it just folds right back on top of itself, okay? And burnish it in, wipe up any extra glue, and burnish it in really good. So you have a nice solid hinge. Now it should look something like this when you're done. I do not miter my corners. That's why I go 1/8 of an inch shorter so that they fit on the hinge perfectly. Now you have a couple options. I like to go ahead and place mine on the hinge before I actually attach it to the book. But I know a lot of people kind of put their cover together first and then put it in, which is what I will do today. Just for the heck of it, why not? So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get my chipboard out. And I want you to cut out 2 pieces of chipboard that are 4.5 by 4.5. Okay. And then I want you to cut out a piece of chipboard that is 4.5 by 3 inches. okay, so that your edging here should fit right in, okay? So 2 chipboard pieces at 4.5 by 4.5 and 1 at 3 inches by 4.5. And then I will be right back. Okay, for putting my cover together, I'm going to take 2 12 by 12 pieces of paper. You could use 2 8.5 by 11 if you want to, but I kind of like the texture and thickness of this paper. And then I know I'm using Craft, and this is a black book, but I'm actually going to use, I'm going to layer it with some black paper on top, and you'll see, I think it'll look okay. So basically, I'm going to score it at 1 inch. Okay. And then I know that my pages are at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to score it again at 5 3/8. I believe that's right. Let me just double check on that real quick. But I'm pretty sure. I usually have my little cheat sheet with my measurements. It's over here, way out in the boonies. Yeah, it is. I don't know why I doubt myself. Okay, then you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be at 5 and, oh no, I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be at 6 3/8. Okay, and then we're going to cut this off. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on the next one. So again, at 1 inch, 5 3/8, and 6 3/8, and cut that off. I normally like to cut these at the same time, and this time I didn't do that, and I don't know why I didn't do that. But I see that I've got a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, this will do. Okay, I apologize for that. I'm being delirious with you. Okay, so now I'm going to marry these 2 pieces of paper together. So I'm going to get my score tape. I'm just going to put it right on the edge here. And really you want to make sure you have it right all the way to the end. And I didn't, so I'm actually going to have to do this twice. So that bites because I hate wasting tape. Oh, maybe I won't do that. We'll see. I can fold this back over. I normally don't like to fold back over, but then I'm going to get my glue. And I like to do this. You don't have to. And then I'm going to line up those score lines along with my edge line here. Okay. Then I'm actually going to take my glue. And this is what I like to do to make sure that the seam is good to go. Make a real thin line there. Then I rub it in with my finger. Okay. And it dries pretty quickly, so I can actually pretty much do it on the other side. And that way, this paper right here, right at this edge, is less likely to split. And that's why I do that. Okay. Okay, so now at this point, you should have your 2 pieces, and I like to have this go in the center, okay? So you're going to put your tape on the back side of these, and then once you're done, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, so I got the tape all along the back of mine, and then I'm going to go ahead and, I like to put glue because of the humidity here. And I really do suggest it if you have a high humidity area. So I'm just going to center this. Okay. And then burnish it in on the back. You can wipe off any excess glue coming out. You'll definitely want to do that. And then I always do my score tape right in between here to prevent it from cracking. And I'm going to take all this tape off. Now, I don't have this all taped along here, but like I said, I'm running out of tape. So I suggest that if you don't want any bubbles or mishaps, I would definitely have this completely covered with tape. So for me, I'm going to use extra glue in all those areas that I didn't have tape. And then by putting it along the edge here, I have a little bit of wiggle room before it attaches itself. I'm going to move this off. I'm going to move my trusty little perfect trim ruler, and I'm going to use this to divide it. And then I'm going to line it up. And again, burnish it in. And burnish it in really good because you don't want to have any air pockets, bubbles, or holes. Now, in the meantime, I can go ahead and remove my glue that's coming off here. I'm going to go ahead and leave about an inch here on this edge. So I can cut this off and discard it. Okay. I'm going to flip this around and do the same exact thing to the other side. And make sure that before you remove the tape that you did burnish this in. You want that tape on there as strong as possible. And again, for me, glue, glue, glue. Okay. I'm going to lift this up. And again, do the exact same thing. I'm going to burnish it in really good. In fact, I'm going to use this one. This one bends a little bit better for me for some reason. Okay. Oops. Wipe up any glue. And again, same thing. I'm going to leave about an inch. And with my perfect trim ruler, I'm going to get my edges in here. And this allows me to get perfect corners. Then I can go ahead and cut those off. Or you can do it after you put your tape on. That's completely up to you. I'm going to get my edges ready. I'm going to make sure that these line up nice and neat. Same thing here. Okay. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put my tape along here. So I'm going to get a 12-inch piece of paper. Just solid colored cardstock. This is 4 1/2. So we're going to go down to 4 3/8. And I like to do my score line just so that I know that when I'm cutting it, it's perfectly even. You do not have to do that. If you trust your scoreboard, I say go for it, but I don't ever. I mean, not my scoreboard, my cutting board. So there you go. And then you're going to tape the entire back of this. And again, like I said, I use glue. You don't have to. And then you're going to attach it here. And then I will be right back when we're attaching the hinge. Okay? Okay, so I have mine taped all along the back. And then, of course, you know me. Here we go again with the glue. I think it's getting stuck. There we go. Come on, give me some flow here. All right, well, we'll use the art glitter glue. Okay, so I'm just going to have to work quicker with this glue. That's the problem. This one dries just a little bit faster. Okay. Gonna line it up to my edge here. Center it, and then with your bone folder, you're going to press down real hard and start burnishing it in. Go to your first line, keep going. Make sure you move it all the way in. Okay, keep going all the way in and press. Okay, wipe off any excess glue. And now you have your base. So that's really cute. Okay, for me, this is ready to go on here. I'm going to go ahead and tape this up on the back. Lay my hinges flat so I can get the tape on there. I'm actually going to, hold on, make sure that I have it taped on all sides. Now this piece, you're definitely going to have to make sure that you burnish it really good and that you don't have any error or anything like that, because you do not want your hinge to pop off, because you will have very unhappy customers if the book falls out. Okay? And then that's another reason why I definitely like to use glue also for this portion of it. Oh good, now I got it going. Okay. Get my glue on the edges there. And this also allows me to move my piece into place. Okay. If I use straight tape, I can't, whoops, whoa, oh my word. I think I pressed a little too hard on that sucker. Let me go ahead and you take advantage of this glue. Okay. There we go. Probably oversaturated that a little bit. Let me wipe some of it off. Okay. Now I'm just going to center it. And it's easier to stand up and do this so that you can kind of see what you're doing. Or you can measure it. That's up to you. You can do that too. Okay, so now I've got glue on my hand, so I got to be really careful here. And glue all over this little thing. So I'm going to press it down and see the glue's going to come out. I put way too much glue on there. But some is better than none. You can always wipe away the excess. Okay, so now that's on. I think I have it not too even, but I should have measured it. Good night. It's too late to turn it on. I mean, to put it down. So definitely, before you place it down, you'll want to double check your measurements. But basically, that's it for the book. All you're going to do is attach your hinges now. Just use a little bit of tape and glue, and you'll be ready to go. And then I'll be back with the finished product. Oh, and for these, since this is 4.5 by 4.5, your decorative paper is going to be 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, or you could do the solid colored cardstock like I'm going to do, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then 4 1/8 and 4 1/8, just like this. So I'll be back. Okay, crafty peeps, I'm all done with the book. So Let me kind of do a little walkthrough. So first of all, these little pearls right here are in your kit, and I just thought they were so adorable. Now I did, even though they are sticker pearls, I did back them up with art glitter glue, okay? Just because I didn't want them to come off at all. And then this little banner flag is from the sticker collection, and so is this little tag. Of course, this is one of the cut-aparts right here. And then this is actually from the sticker collection. It actually came in a little square, but what I did is I went ahead and fussy cut it out, and I did one on the back also. And then right here, these little gems right here and here are also from your kit. This flower is from the kit. I pretty much basically use everything from the kit, except that I accidentally used the seam binding ribbon from my Imagine kit. So I apologize for that. You will get this gorgeous black and yellow in your kit. Let me get it. Hold on. Beep, beep, beep. Okay. You'll get this gorgeous seam binding ribbon right here, black and yellow. And see, I've made a mess already, okay? All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. And then this here is this gorgeous, beautiful, double-sided doily black lace with these like little tiny flowers inside. So pretty. I love it. Okay. And it's not stretchy. It has a really good, nice, heavy-duty feel to it. I really like it, actually. It's very pretty, very dainty. Love it, love it. And again, here is, as you can see, I've already used quite a few of the stickers from the sheet. Okay. And I just love these handmade flowers. They're so precious. I did make a little pocket here, but I end up not using it. So I use my little EK Success Punch that I got from Tammy Volland. Love it. Here's another one of the stickers from the collection. Again, I went ahead and backed it up with art glitter glue because I didn't want to have any issues with it. And then I use this little bicycle pattern in the back here. Oops, sorry, I didn't clean up all my little glue mess. But anyway, so right here I made a little pocket because I didn't want to use any more of my 12 by 12 paper. I basically used some of my smaller scraps. These were not 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, but I made it 4 1/4 this way, turned it, and then made a pocket with some black cardstock. And then, of course, these are some of the cut-aparts. Little journaling tag there. And I used some of the scraps of paper to do these centers right here. So I really love how everything turned out. More little journaling cards. A lot of these little tabs. I like anything that you can, do small little journaling notes on. You could put a small photo there if you wanted to. Like literally, you could use this as a frame right here. I would just use my X-Acto knife, cut this out, and, put a photo behind there. Then, let's see. I just basically went ahead and made every page is the same style of, whatever, as you saw in the tutorial. But all I did was just add a little bit of embellishments here and there. And so I think it turned out really cute. Like I said, it's got 5 pages. Lots of pocket pages, lots of areas to journal, lots of places to put photos. So I think it turned out really fabulous. Like I said, it's a itty bitty mini. So I hope you all have a wonderful and fabulous day. Bye, y'all.